For all you boppers out there in the big city, I've been asked to relay a request from the Gramercy Rifts. It's a special for the warriors.
Rifts! Yeah, right! Who are the warriors?
So you're the famous warriors?
There he is! That's him! That's the warrior!
They think we shot Cyrus. Every gang in the city must be looking for us.
We're gonna rain on you, warriors! It's showtime! I want them all. I want all the warriors.
If this truce is off, anything could hit us between here and that train.
I want them alive if possible, if not wasted. Now is the time to show up who owns these streets.
All right, gamers, geeks, and other delinquents from the Outer Realms, it's time for the Gamers in Beta podcast with Captain Mike M. Featuring assorted co-hosts J Maniac 17, Corey Atwood, Sean Quicksilver 3355, and Joe State.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to episode 181 of the Gamers in Beta podcast. This is Captain Mike M. Now, earlier in the week, I tweeted out that we were going to have a guest on next week's show. I said it was going to be Santa, and I'm happy to report that I just got off the phone with his associates, and he has confirmed. So next week, again, Santa Claus will be with us.
Hey everybody, this is Corey Atwood, and I am a Dorothy in the streets and a Blanche in the sheets. So there's a Golden Girls reference for nobody.
And I am Sean Quicksilver 3355, and I was thinking today, life is short, so you should smile while you still have teeth.
And this is Jay, a.k.a. Maniac 17, and I've been a gaming grandpa this week. We'll talk about that later.
Joe here, and I don't have to have a fancy introduction because my birthday's on Wednesday.
Oh, happy birthday, Joe.
Thanks.
Is this a particular milestone or just an ordinary birthday?
Well, it's the big 3-2.
Big 3-2.
Hey, wait a minute. When's your birthday? The 18th?
14th.
14th. Oh, you beat me by 2 days.
Yeah, you know.
I'm the big 3-5 on Rogue One Day.
Oh.
Look at you guys getting up there in age.
Yeah, we're Gramps.
It's sad.
And pretty soon you'll be feeling like death, like myself. Let's get into the news. Let's dive right into it. The Nintendo Switch has some news items.
Sorry.
Put your hands up now. Jimmy Fallon had a couple people on from Nintendo HQ. Reggie was on, Mr. Miyamoto. And I think maybe one other executive was there in the crowd as well. First of all, Corey, as the Nintendo guy, Joe as well, what did you think of those guys being on there? Mr. Miyamoto playing the guitar with the roots? Yeah,
I am a big fan of Shigeru Miyamoto. I mean, he kind of made Nintendo what it is, and I could tell that Fallon was like an actual fan. Oh yeah. Because he started to quote thing when they explained that he got to he was going to be able to play Breath of the Wild. He talked about just very briefly. He said to Miyamoto like, "Oh yeah, I know how you came up with Zelda," and he talked like he either read Shigeru Miyamoto's biography or he read Press Start to Continue or one of the numerous Nintendo books. Because, I knew that fact, too, but it's a really obscure fact. And I'm like, all right, Fallon's legit. I was happy for him that he got to play these Nintendo games. So I was super psyched to see him do it.
Yeah, he pretty much had a boner on when as soon as they popped the box off of there.
Where did he have the boner on?
I think he had it on the controller.
Big penis.
So let's start with Super Mario Run. It looked pretty cool to me. And if you read the interview that he did this week with Glixel, which again is Rolling Stone's new gaming arm, their publication. He talks about they just wanted to create something really simple. They wanted to sort of go backwards in time and not push the envelope with the controls. They just wanted to be one simple thing. All you do is jump. So they showed a little bit of that, and Jimmy was playing it. Something you think you'll be picking up this week, Corey?
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, goddamn right I'm going to pick that up. Because Nintendo, it's kind of I'm a huge video game historian fan. I'm way into that. And this is a big historic moment. Nintendo's never put Mario on another platform. So this is a big deal. So I feel obligated as a retro gaming nerd to buy it. And second of all, Nintendo, say what you want about Nintendo and their high prices and how the games never come down. They don't ship broken games, at least their first party games. Their games are always very polished. They're always well done. And Nintendo builds its games around a mechanic and then builds the game that way, especially for Zelda. So like you said before, the mechanic is just hitting the screen with your thumb. That's pretty much all it is. And they've been able to build a Mario game out of that. So yeah, I definitely want to check this out. That $10 price tag does not bother me in the least.
So in that article that I was just referencing, they said they decided to go with Apple because they knew Apple was going to be on board with what they wanted to do. They had no interest of doing anything in the free-to-play space. So what they've come up with is there's a couple levels maybe that you can play for free, and then if you're into it, you can go ahead and buy it. So they just didn't want to. They said a lot of kids play these games, and they didn't want their parents to worry down the road. Are they going to be hit with these, microtransactions? So they give you a little bit of taste of the game, and then if you like it, buy it, and then you're done forever. Joe, as a parent, how do you feel about that?
I'm pretty cool with the free to start thing. I'm pretty sure I'll end up buying it anyway because the boy is super obsessed with Mario, and sometimes we just need him to chill. Mm-hmm. It'll be something to be able to be here, play this while we're at a restaurant trying to get our order in and stuff like that, or wait for our food. So
I know that all too well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this will be great.
Now, Jay, as someone who has their wallet under lock and key with a tight grip, is the $10 price tag mean you're out?
Hell yeah.
No, you only play mobile games if they're free?
If I want a game where I can only have to tap, I'll get My Name is Mayo on PS4. That's only 99 cents. I'll get the demo with that, though, because I'm not paying 99 cents for that either.
Couldn't you, if tapping was the single action, couldn't you essentially play Peggle like that? You move a cannon and then you tap to shoot, right? That's all a Peggle is, right?
Right. That it uses the stick and the.
Oh, so there's a slide and a tap.
Right. There's a bit. You have to aim properly. This one you just really. It's kind of like them. What do they call them? The endless runners. You basically, in some of those you can shoot, but most of them it's a jump mechanic or a jump, and then also you get a duck too. So
yeah, there's jump, and I guess the jump, the length of the jump is determined by how long you hold your thumb down. Because you did see in the demo, there's the short jumps, there's wall jumps, and there's very long jumps as well. So yeah, it is pretty much just the one mechanic, but there's different ways to implement it, I guess. So,
but this is one of them deals where you're paying for the name. It's Nintendo and Mario, so you're paying $10 for a relatively simple game. So, of course, the game's not out. I don't know how well they've done it yet either. So, if there does have that free mechanic, I'll definitely download it. But I don't see myself paying $10 for something like that. But this is also the person that plays Angry Birds. So, you never know.
But with that name, sorry to interrupt, but with that name, you're buying quality. Let's not get back into the Wii years and Wii Music and all that. I just mean with the first party properties when they make.
What was the last Nintendo mobile game they put out?
Never. Exactly. Never.
No, what was that one?
Miitomo?
Miitomo?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't even consider that a game.
Where's that shit sound? Put it in there.
They did put that up, but I see that more like that's more like a social networking. But yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was terrible. And that was Nintendo. And it is a rarity for them to put something out that's not that great. So, like I said, it may change my mind after I play it, but just $10 does seem very steep for me for a game like that. But I don't know how many levels it has and all that. So
could I
will keep my mind open.
If they follow, because they are kind of differing from the normal pay model that you see on mobile. Like usually it's free to play.
In-app.
Yeah, exactly. Full of microtransactions, and they're skirting that with just saying, we just want one, $10 purchase. If they went the other way, the typical model, would you obviously probably play it because it's free, but would you drop any coin on it, you think?
I probably would, because most of the ones that are like that, I do have quite a few, like the Angry Birds. I've never done any in-app purchases for I can't say that. I did buy the Angry Eagle when it was on sale for like 50 cents. But I don't buy any of the in-app. I only play the free part of it. So
the answer was no then rather than yes.
Yeah, so I would download it and play it, but no, I would not buy the in-app purchases. So
now, Sean, what type of mobile device do you have? I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you are Android or iOS?
iOS.
All right. So for you have the ability to play this. Interest you at all?
Not really. I don't play games on my phone. I just never really have. I wait
You're
till I
just
get
on
home.
Snapchat, right?
Yeah, just Snapchat and Tinder. That's it. That's the only two I play. Those are the only ones I play on. Yeah, pretty much.
You know how that goes. All right. Other stuff that was going on there with Fallon, of course, they debuted the Switch. They didn't give us any real details, but you got to see it, sort of up close. You got to see it, moving around and doing things like that with the kickstand and so on. Anybody sort of get a feeling from that, like this looks cooler than I expected, worse than I expected, just from the quick glimpse of it?
The only information I really pulled away from it, aside from being able to see it run on the Switch as opposed to the Wii U, which was cool, I couldn't really gather any information as far as the visuals go, because, it was just a camera, off-screen camera. But I got a sense of the Switch itself, like when you're holding the screen or the tablet, whatever you call it, is way thinner than I expected. It's really thin, and I could kind of gauge the size of it. It looks like in between a really large phone and a very small tablet. Like I don't think I'll be able to fit that in my pocket, but I'm quite surprised at how thin it is.
Maybe more along the lines of those smaller iPads that are out now. What do they call those? They just call those minis, or?
Yeah, the mini.
And the other thing that I got from that article on Glixel is that Miyamoto is really hands off with the Switch. He said he felt it was important that there are younger people, executives, working their way up the ladder with Nintendo. And if Nintendo is to be successful going forward, that these people need to carry their vision. They need to work on these types of products and have their voices heard. So he's busy with games like, Super Mario Run, the Universal Theme Park, and other games. But he said he's really been hands off on the Switch. Is that something, Corey, that excites you, worries you, or?
I'll be honest here. He's getting on in years. So, he's right. You kind of do have to pass the torch on to the next generation. And of course, Nintendo really didn't have much at all to do with Pokemon Go, despite what people thought right after it launched.
Pokemon!
But he I guess you'd say he had a hands-off approach with that as well, because he did consult for it. They did bring him in for consultation quite a bit, but overall he did have a hands-off approach. So as long as he's there to consult now and again, to go to our forefathers at Nintendo and ask them, do you approve of this? Pokemon Go was quite the success, so it doesn't really bother me.
He said there's a 4-man team, him and 3 other guys. He says he's the boss because he's the oldest. But there's 4 guys, and he says they get together daily for lunch and dinner. And that's how they work through ideas, and they come together to an agreement to put their ideas forward. And he says, in Japan, we work a lot. We don't work on the weekends, but we work very long hours, Monday through Friday. So we have lunch and we have dinner together. And that's how a lot of these things come to fruition. A lot of their ideas, they get, discussed over food, and then they come to your own house. Joe, you're still on board with the Switch.
Totally.
Anything from that video that you might have seen that either attracted you more or sort of detracted you from it?
I haven't actually seen it. I've only heard about it and read about it, so I haven't actually watched the video. Twitterverse, Jeff Gersman on Giant Bomb went into length about it, and then I read about it on and seen screenshots on a couple different articles.
What did Mr. Gersman have to say about it? I always value his opinion.
He said, "Oh gosh, I think he said that he's interested, but he's not fully sold, and that it didn't look like it had a touchscreen."
I think the touches might just be for apps. I totally could be wrong on that, but I think it's going to be like how you launch Netflix or something like that. But let's move on to some other Nintendo Switch news here. The fine folks at Eurogamer came out with an article this week saying their sources are telling them that there could be a GameCube virtual console coming to the Switch. Now, I'm not someone who ever had a GameCube, although I always wanted one. I thought they kind of looked cool, especially the purple ones. Joe, or anybody else here, is that something that entices you even more? Is there certain games on the GameCube that, finally I can play this again?
I have one of all three colors.
Oh, look at you. And that would be black, silver, and purple? Was it silver or gray?
It's like silver.
I thought there was a yellow one too.
There's an orange one, but that one's like really rare.
Yeah, I thought there was a yellow one that they had released for what is
Pokemon.
it? Pokemon, yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah, we had the purple one and a black one.
What are the flagship titles of the GameCube that would get people excited? Like, I played this many years ago, and now I can replay it again. Sort of like backwards compatibility. What are
Die Hard.
I think the main one is one that's cited in that article is Smash Brothers Melee. That's like a huge thing because, in that, you remember the Nintendo Switch trailer or commercial, whatever you want to call it. Right. There's like a scene that's clearly straight out of esports. It's I think they're playing Splatoon though. But if Nintendo wants to get into the esports scene, the biggest Nintendo game that's played at games like competitions like Evo and stuff is still Smash Brothers Melee. That's still like a huge game, and it's what, 15 years old now?
Now, is that something that, Joe, you played? Did you play Smash Brothers Melee?
I never played Melee. I've only played the original one and then the one on the Wii U.
So what did you play on the GameCube that got you excited?
They had like the best Harvest Moon on there. And then Geist is a pretty good game. It's like a first-person shooter where you can transfer, I guess, kind of like your soul into just like weird objects in the environment. Like you can go possess like a thing of dog food, a dog dish full of dog food, and you can look around and then pop your soul into another person and kind of like take over them. And I don't know, it's pretty interesting, but I already have that on the GameCube, so I don't know if I'd necessarily need it. But hey, maybe it'd run better.
Now, was the GameCube the system that had the GoldenEye that everybody loves?
No.
Nope, that was N64.
No, it was Resident Evil 4, I think, was an exclusive to it at the time, which was really big for everybody because that's what I played. I played that one. I think that's about the only Nintendo game that I played all the way through to the end. And then Die Hard, which is not a very famous one other than the fact that it was probably the most brutal game that ever came out on a GameCube. It had profanity in it, and it was wicked. It was wicked. It had a lot of violence in it.
Was it the Die Hard trilogy, the whole thing, or was it just? I
can't remember the name of the game. It was a Die Hard game, and like it had swearing in it, and it had a lot of violence in it. Which for the GameCube, that was still in the time when they weren't allowing stuff like that on the game. So like everybody was just shocked when this game came out.
Vendetta, Die Hard Vendetta.
Yes, that's it. Yes, we had that. But Resident Evil was probably the one that got me the most. And then is it Animal Crossing? The one like you kind of had like a garden and stuff like that. And that's another one. That's what the kids, my son and all his friends played.
There was the first Animal Crossing, and it also had an NES emulator buried inside of it. And it had, I think, 12 to 15 NES games that through playing GameCube or through playing Animal Crossing, you could unlock and play in-game. So,
cool.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the games that they talked about actually coming over to the Switch, which makes sense too because aren't the people supposedly involved in this the same team that made the NES Classic? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, I could totally be talking out of my ass about that one. But did you ever play the other Resident Evil Zero, that remake on the GameCube?
I did not.
No, but they just remastered that and put it out on PS4 recently.
Right, yeah, I've downloaded it. I haven't played it yet. But at the time, when that game came out, that was gorgeous. That was one of the most gorgeous games on any console I'd seen, and it was on the GameCube.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 was, like I said, that's the only game that really enticed me. I'm like, you get that GameCube over here, we're hooking it up in the living room, and I'm playing this game because this is awesome.
The one sad thing about emulating GameCube is you don't get to use those tiny discs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The UMD almost type disc.
Yeah,
those
that's
tiny
right.
little discs.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they were like half-size discs.
I never got to play Super Mario Sunshine, so that'll be cool to play. And I do like their Paper Mario that was on the game.
Oh, yes.
In your door.
Yes, that too. That better come. I will definitely pick that up.
Now, Corey, this is timely, but what about Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader? I'm hearing that's a good one.
Yes, I would definitely pick that up as well, too. And if they're smart, they should advertise that as if they come forward and make this announcement, they should mention some Star Wars stuff right now, because that would be very timely, like you said. But that game I mentioned earlier, that Resident Evil remake, I think it was called Zero when it came out on the GameCube. That existing on the GameCube actually extended a really shitty relationship I was in by like a month and a half, just because I wanted to finish the game and she owned the GameCube.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was a really shitty person, and I was like, well, maybe I'll still go to her dorm room because I can play some Resident Evil for a little while.
Oh, my God. But that is priceless.
Just for the record, the relationship got too shitty, and I had to bail, and I never beat it. So I should beat it on PS4.
Now, this also has the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker that everybody creams over.
Yes, the first one. I mean, it was on Wii U. The remaster was on Wii U.
From what I hear, the Wii U version is definitely the better version to play because they streamlined a lot of stuff to make it more playable.
Yeah, you can access your inventory way easier with that touchpad in the middle, which you could probably do on the Switch.
Interesting. Again, this is all speculation and rumor, but anything to get the console to have more value, right? We've talked about how the Wii U has the capability to play Wii games. We don't know if the Switch is going to be able to play any of those games because we don't know what the functionality exists. If that means devs are going to go in and have to touch up the games that have touch or motion and things like that. So the GameCube is just strictly, there was no gimmick to it, right? It just, besides the little disc or whatever.
Yeah, it was the small discs and the fact that they wanted this to seem like a console that you could like take on the go to a friend's house because they put that handle in the back.
Yeah.
And they made it so small, but that never really took off because there wasn't many games that you'd ever want to like have a little LAN party with. So
the Mario game, Mario Kart.
Yes. Aside from that, though, like there wasn't a ton, and Melee, obviously.
Anything else we want to touch upon here while we're talking about the Switch?
If only we had an expert.
Yeah, we just so happen to have a guest on the show today. Would you join us here? He's a special guest from Nintendo, and unfortunately, he's going to. We can't say his name because he's going to give us some inside information, exclusive Gamers in Beta exclusive inside information about the Switch. So say hello, special guest.
It's me.
Don't say your name. Can't say your name legally. We cannot say your name. So we'll call you. Let's see. Marion, Super Marion, I guess we can call him. Let's just call him Marion for sure.
Big Daddy Red Pants.
Exactly.
Big Daddy Red Pants, yes.
So if I understand you're here to answer questions about the Nintendo Switch, but you have to keep it short and sweet. So we can only answer yes or no questions. Can't keep it too complex. So does anybody here have any questions about the Nintendo Switch? All right, let's hear it.
He's Big Daddy Red Pants. Do you have a beard?
Oh, no.
Okay, so he's not Santa. Okay.
Dude, Santa stopped working for Nintendo years ago.
Yeah.
Santa's coming next week anyway, right?
Yeah, so let's not cross the streams. Joe and Jay just recently mentioned the different color variations of the GameCube. Might we see some variations with the Switch?
I'm guessing that means a big no. I think
that's a maybe to me.
Yeah, he was quite tickled by it.
Yeah.
Either that or he's saying, "Hey, cash grab over here."
Yeah. So.
Oh, there's a confirmation for that. I have a question. Are all these rumors correct? Is there going to be a GameCube Virtual Console support?
Oh no!
Whoa, that's
breaking news.
Exclusive here on Gamers in Beta.
Well, that's breaking Corey's heart. Let's just go right for the kill. How about touch? Will any games have touch controls?
Oh no!
Shit.
Corey.
All right. So my last question is, did you guys invent a shrink ray so that you could put the GameCube in there?
I guess so. I mean,
yeah. So that's why it doesn't have the support, because they just put an actual one in there.
It's inside, so we just physically rip it out of the front of the console. I mean, this console comes apart. They've said it's 3 consoles in one. Is it actually 4 consoles in one? Yeah. Okay, I get it. And my last question: Will we be able to play Die Hard Vendetta on this tiny little GameCube?
Oh, please say yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Now, Joe or Sean, any questions for our special guest?
Oh, I'm dry. I'm scared. I'm intimidated.
All right. Well, thank you very much, special guest. You take it easy and enjoy the next couple of months.
Yeah, go save the princess.
Wow, can't believe it. Two guests on 2 shows, one this week and one next week. What did we do to deserve all of this?
A lot of special guests last week too with that.
Yes, with the beta test. Yep.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's get back to the news here. Enough fancy guests. Let's get back to what we're good at, and that's discussing the news. And we have some breaking stuff here with survival games, and we know that's right up Sean's alley. Conan Exiles, and they released a new trailer this week. Survive in the world of Conan. Sean, what are your impressions of this?
Well, I watched a dev stream. Jeez, I can't talk. A dev stream just a little bit ago on YouTube. I guess they're going to be twitching out streams on game development as they go along before early access release on January 31st. I'm pretty impressed at the moment. There's a lot of things. The mechanics look good. The graphics are amazing. The sound, they didn't have any sound. So I don't know how it sounds yet because they couldn't figure out how to turn the sound on in the game in Twitch. It's a rookie mistake. They're not obviously used to streaming, so I get it. So hopefully the next stream they have, I'll be able to hear the sound because I'm curious to see what the ambiance is, what's playing, what kind of music. But I guess it's based on the Conan universe, the actual Conan universe. So all the factions are there. They have character creation screen where you're going to be able to do a whole lot of stuff. You're going to be able to choose your religion, your type of person you're playing, the faction you want to play with, you want to play as. It's amazing. I mean, what I saw tonight, it looks pretty good so far. So.
Yeah, and I guess we mentioned this earlier because I think we've talked about this once before. And Conan is technically public domain. So there's a lot of different Conans. There's the Conan movies, there's the Conan comics, there's the Conan books. I guess this is based on the original Robert Howard novels. This is back to the original Conan. It takes place in Hyboria. I think that's the name of the place they mentioned in the demo. So yeah, the whole thing is for you Conan purists. I think that should give you a big boner.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot of stuff to it, so it should be interesting to see.
Now, Sean mentioned this to me earlier, Corey, and let me know if you agree or not. He says in Ark, one thing that's missing is NPCs. We're not talking about dinos and beavers and things like that. We're talking, other humans. This is going to be in Ark. This is going to be in Conan. Is this something that you agree is missed in Ark and happy to see it in Conan? Yeah,
it's from the video that I saw, not only are there going to be NPCs running around, which I've always wished was in Ark, you could find tribes or stumble upon tribes, but you'll be able to kidnap people and torture them until they're on your team, and then you can set up you can set up your little army of guys. So like, because they mentioned there was a PvP mode. So when you're offline, I don't remember what they call the soldiers that you can hire and have defend your base, but they'll like flat out just fight for you and defend your base, which is really cool. It's better than just setting up like a ton of turrets and hoping for the best like you have to do in Ark.
Now, Sean, how come you felt it was important to have the NPCs in?
I think it's more immersive that way. So it's not just the people running around that are playing the game, but there's also a game aspect to it. So there's more to do is basically what it is. So it's not really an open world sandbox. It's definitely probably, they didn't say how big the map was, so I don't know how big it is, but I would like NPCs in the game to make it more interesting, kind of like The Witcher does. You go to this guy, you get this stuff from him or whatever, but you can still go on and play the game. So the NPCs are important because I love playing Ark, don't get me wrong, but it would be nice if there were interactions like, in a single player or, in multiplayer or whatever, that would add to the game itself to make it more entertaining.
Yeah, it is. I have a single player version of Ark now, so I didn't have to worry about it getting destroyed. And it does get a bit lonely. I agree. But the weaponry looks cool. The visuals look stunning. I mean, I've been playing Ark for a long time, as has Sean, and we both love the game, but we're not going to pretend like the visuals are fantastic. They're quite far behind other games, but you could also play in third person. There were a few shots of them playing in third person rather than just first, which
that's definitely a thing they said.
I always prefer playing in third person rather than first. Yeah,
like I said, they have combat and there's actual you can actually hold two things in your hands. Unlike Ark, you can only hold one or the other. It's either that. You can't carry a torch and swing an axe. In Conan, you can. They are giving you the option to carry a torch and be able to work, at night. I don't know. It just seems, to me, it's way more immersive at this point than Ark. And as much as I've been an Ark enthusiast for this long, I've already got my server on order for when it comes out.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Now, Jay and Joe, I don't think you guys play too many survival games, if any. Traditional ones like this, I guess, like Ark and Rust and stuff like that. You guys maybe have watched this trailer. It's around 4 minutes or so, but is this whet your appetite at all, or still no interest in the genre?
I have no interest in the genre at all, so I haven't even bothered watching the trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Conan's cool, but I just can't get into a survival game like that.
Yeah, I have an interest. I just don't have the time. I mean, I could barely get through the traditional games. Going into this, I mean, it's such a time sink. I would love to try it because I love Conan. I mean, all Conan, the movies and whatnot. I'm not extremely familiar with the novels, but I think that would really give it, for a Conan fan, this would really give you, something in depth. You can go in and play, and if they stick to the books and kind of have the different factions and the different, beliefs and whatnot that are in there, it would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they have all the religions and stuff too. So there's the Krom and all that stuff.
Right, that's what I was trying to get to, is the religions, right? Now, quick question for you, Sean, is can you do what you do like in the Ark? Can you do the role play?
Yeah, they're actually one of the things they did say that they're setting it up so that you can role play this, so it'll all be able to be role played. So you'll be able to do all that, everything that you do in Ark, you'll be able to do. I think they were kind of hinting towards Ark a lot in their discussion. If you watch the dev video, they were kind of making jabs at them a little bit, as you were trying to make this a little more realistic. So
now, would the NPCs make it more immersive for you like that?
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of factions that don't like you because the way you start out. So, you got to be careful and stay away from them for a while until you, get your strength up and whatnot. So, I definitely do believe so.
All righty.
Did I mention you can summon avatars like the huge statues and stuff? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could summon like gods. That looks fantastic.
Cool.
Like summon a giant. It showed like a giant statue just stomping all over somebody's village.
That's why I'm interested. I wish I had the time.
There better be a big ass anaconda.
And, they got the snake. They got the snake. They got the Midas or Mida. I don't know.
Mida, I believe.
And two other ones that I don't know what they are yet. So,
what's the time frame on this? Oh, sorry, Joe.
Oh, I was just going to make a bad joke, but
go for it.
All right.
Go for it. The floor is yours.
What happens if you roll up and you don't have any buns? Will the anaconda want any?
Oh no, he don't want none because.
Oh, that was horrible, Joe. That was a dad joke.
What is a dad?
It would have been. It would have been better if he didn't have to go back and do it. He was put on the spot. It was just
yeah. It was actually pretty good. So, but no, this is what, spring 2017.
Yeah, that's what it said for PC and Xbox.
Xbox One early access.
Which, like you said, these types of games are enormous time sinks. So, like, I was super interested in the trailer, but I'm like, I have these games that I need to finish. I just don't let it come to consoles for like another 6 months, and then it said Xbox One. I'm like, fuck, I'm sold. I have to buy it, motherfucker.
Well, yeah, it's Xbox One is the spring. PC is January 31st.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
For early access, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we beat that up pretty good. Let's move on to this last story before we get into what we've been playing. Sony has reported that they've sold 50 million units. This is not shipped to stores. This is shipped to consumers. So 50 million, and they expect to sell another 20 million by the end of March. I'm not sure how they're going to pull that off. I know that the console just went down in price temporarily to $250, just like the Xbox One S. So maybe that's going to, spur on some more sales.
Is the Pro getting that drop too?
I don't believe so.
No.
And the sales came out. The numbers for November just came out, and I think PlayStation put an end to Xbox's streak at either 3 or 4 months in a row. So November, I don't think it was a leap to expect that because they had the VR that came out in October, the PS4 Pro that came out in November. There was a lot of excitement around the PlayStation products that probably generated more sales.
Plus PSX might help boost it again for this month too.
Yeah, 50 million units, man. That's a lot of units.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what the Xbox numbers is because they always like to tell you how many live people are engaged at the moment and how many they've shipped to. I think they maybe even stopped telling you how many they've shipped to stores. But no matter how you slice it, if they think they're going to have 70 million by the end of March, that is very impressive. I am a skeptic, though. I don't know how they're going to come up with another 20 million units sold. I'll have to look at the games that are coming out to see if there's something. I guess Horizon Zero Dawn might move some units. That's coming out in February. I think they'll even sell more if they make some changes to what they do. Jay desperately wants to become more involved with PlayStation, but I know the lack of external support is holding him up.
External drive, yeah. I still haven't upgraded my drive, which is part of it. But not having the external. I've got 6 terabyte upstairs, and I think I got 4 terabyte downstairs.
It's
on
really easy.
On my ones.
Popping in that 2 terabyte is really easy.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, putting it in itself is easy. I guess, the slightly more complicated is going to their website, downloading the firmware, making sure that your thumb drive or whatever is on the right.
And not having to re-download all the games that I've downloaded because of my shitty internet.
Well, you could put those on an external.
Yeah.
And do the transfer that way. But anyways, Joe and Sean, are you going to be at some point putting your money towards the fund to get them 20 million more sales by the end of March? I know. Ideally, working towards it.
Yeah.
Go pro, baby. Go pro.
We'll see how it goes. Oh well, that was the plan when I sold my old one, but then life happened. Wah, wah, wah. And
We'll see.
I was actually. Oh my God, my wife propositioned me with the worst proposition. She's like, "Oh hey, when our Google money comes in from our eBay podcast, I was going to buy you a Christmas present. You can get that new PlayStation, or we could buy you your tattoo license and equipment." I was like, "Are you serious?"
Sophie's choice.
God damn it!
Quick question for you, Joe. I know we're not into the news yet, but you guys have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
Are you getting hit by that? What is it? The sub bug out there that's dropping all the subs?
I don't think so. We're definitely growing significantly still. We're almost at like 10,000. subscribers.
And just so people know, there's supposedly a bug out there that a lot of the big channels that have subscribers, there's a bug that when you upload, it some reason is unsubscribing subs.
That's
on
messed
YouTube.
up.
Yeah, that is messed up. Yeah. I don't know if they have it fixed by now or not, but that's why I was curious.
Is that why PewDiePie was deleting his account? He was pissed off?
That was part of why, and well, more news.
PewDiePie is deleting his account. Thanks, Trump. God, I can't believe we're living in Trump's America now.
He said he was going to delete it, and he deleted a damn sub account. So,
what a stinker!
Yeah, he lied. He trumped us. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Let's
no
not go
shit.
there.
Sean, so you haven't bought an Xbox One yet, and you don't have a PlayStation yet. Enticed by any one yet, or still just hanging back and enjoying PC?
Well, I mean, I would like to buy the Xbox and the PS4, but right now it's not in the budget. So once it becomes in the budget, I'll take a look and see what I can do. First things first is I got to get a car, so that's what I'm working on right now. So.
But if you had the car and are you leaning towards one over the other, or you get them at the same time?
No, well, I won't get them at the same time, but I want to get both because I really like some of the games on PS4 that Xbox doesn't have. So.
Yeah, but Conan's not coming to PS4.
Yeah, but Conan's coming to PC, and that's what I'm going to have it on.
If you have a PC, it makes way more sense to get a PS4 over the Xbox One.
Hey, I just want to play games with him, all right? I just want to play games with him. Let me trick him into buying an Xbox One.
You should get a PC, Mr. Mac boy.
Fuck that.
All right, let's move on to what we've been playing. I see that the list is plentiful. And let's see, who hasn't been on recently? I can't remember. Anyways, we'll start with the bottom. Joe, tell us what you've been up to.
Okay.
Go, Joe.
Still on that Pokemon Sun.
Pokemon!
And continuing in the story, it's still pretty good. I'm pretty much towards the end now, but I've gotten severely sidetracked by it was not necessarily an exploit, but there's a way to greatly increase your chances to get shiny Pokemon. So I've been going around and wasting way too much time just getting shiny Pokemon. I've gotten 2 so far.
Now, does the fact that it's shiny actually like affect it at all in any other way other than like cosmetic?
No, it's shiny.
Will it repel lasers?
Nope, it's just shiny.
Shiny stuff is way better than regular stuff.
It has like an animation when you go into a battle where a little star pops and gleams off of it, and it's a different colorway. So far I've gotten a shiny Grimer and a shiny Execute, which I'm really excited because I'm gonna evolve the Execute and get that Alolan Executor, which is like that palm tree looking guy, and so that'll be cool. He's like a golden color.
A shiny Grimer definitely sounds like some sort of weird sex move.
You know it. Give me the shiny Grimer.
Paid extra. I want to get the shiny Grimer this time.
But yeah, so basically, like you have to go into a battle, and in this version of the game, it's actually a little bit easier. Because in prior versions, you had to like chain battle after battle by using the Pokemon radar, and you'd have to like walk around and encounter the same exact Pokemon until like you reached, 35 encounters in a row, and then your likelihood for a shiny is increased. But this one, they introduced a thing where they call allies into battle whenever their health gets low. So you get their health low, and then you defeat the ally they call in, and just have them continuing to call in allies after allies over and over again until 35 again. So the first one I got was like 35, or almost on the dot. That was that Grimer, and I got that shiny. And then this last one with the Execute, it took over a day and a half of like picking up the game or the DS, and then doing some battles and then closing it and coming back to it later, all within the same battle. It took me 83 allies before I finally got the shiny to pop up.
Jesus, he better be shiny as fuck.
Super fucking shiny. So yeah, That was sweet. Now I have 2 shinies, and I'm stoked on it. Other than that, though, I have been putting some time into Hitman, which is it's a pretty good game. I've been going through all of the tutorial missions again because it has been a little bit since I've played it, and because those tutorial missions, so each map has multiple ways you can go about doing things. And so I've just been going through and trying out all the different scenarios that I can hit the target. So, I go in and find different ways to sneak and different ways to get different disguises and walk around. And like you could poison a drink, or you can poison some food, or you can drop the life raft on people and crush them and stuff like that. So I've done some cool stuff that way. And I did this one where I made this nerd who's supposed to go into this escape jet, go over your safety protocols, and then you rigged so the ejector seat works again, and basically you make him go through the safety protocol and eject his seat and die that way. And that was a pretty entertaining way. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. So I think I've finished going through with doing all these different ways on these tutorial missions. And so I'm going to finally hit up the first actual target that's not a tutorial.
Can't remember. Did you say that you bought all the missions already?
I have not bought the DLC missions. I've only gone through all the tutorial stuff, and now I'm about to start like the first non-guided experience.
So what I was trying to get, there's some free DLC that's coming out, but I don't think it's. I think you might have had to purchase everything else to get to get the free one.
Bumski.
It's called Holiday Hoarder, and it's supposedly on the honor system. If you download it, they want you to give a few bucks to the World Cancer Research. They're doing some sort of cross promotion with them, but I know people on Twitter seem to be very excited for this. Of course, it's got Santa in it and stuff like that. So
cool. I'm hella just gonna buy all the other stuff just so I can do that then.
No,
do you think,
go ahead.
Do you think that's in poor taste? They're doing this promotion with the cancer research, but Hitman 47 is completely bald.
I thought you were going to say because he was killing people.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Maybe the people he's killing all work for, like, Philip Morris.
That must be.
Jay and everybody else, I know you expressed some interest in the Hitman games. You think you'll be picking this up at some point?
I wish I'd gotten it on Black Friday, but next time I see a sale, I will pick it up.
I know the physical version for the PS4 doesn't come out till the end of January.
Right. Or 1.
Right.
It's the season 1 is still out. You can buy it digital now, but if you're buying disc, it's not out yet. You can pre-order it.
I might pick it up on the cheap, with the Gamer Club Unlocked or Amazon Prime discount.
When is the Steam sale?
It's a winter sale, right? It's not a Christmas sale?
Yeah.
Nothing's been announced yet, but I want to say those are usually sometime end of January, early February.
Yeah, something like that.
That's a bummer. That's too far.
Usually PAX time.
Maybe they'll do something right after Christmas. I mean, everybody's got those Steam gift cards right after Christmas, right?
Yeah. Well, I was hoping that Xbox or PS4 or even Steam would have it because they have those like 12 days of Christmas sales or whatever. So I was hoping maybe they'll put it back on sale again because they're seeing a lot of games that they're doing that again that were on sale for Black Friday or being marked down and on sale. But you got to really keep an eye out because they're not like on the front page.
Now, while Jay is talking, I was just doing some quick research, and places like NeoGAF and Eurogamer are reporting the Steam Winter Sale will kick off on December 22nd and run through January 2nd.
Ooh.
There you go. Get everybody on their winter vacation, too. So.
Yeah.
That's just a rumor at this point, but that's what the Googles brought up real quick. Anything else there, Joe?
No, those are the only ones.
All righty. Corey, how about you go next?
All right, I'll keep mine short and sweet. Watch Dogs 2, still playing it. Not very far into it because I have all these other games I'm playing too. No Man's Sky, I've gone back and I'm playing after the Foundation update, and there's the survival mode, which of course I'm immediately drawn to. Sean, you can feel me. So I'm playing the survival mode. It's super hard, like really, really hard. It took me forever to even get to my downed ship and finally get off the first planet. Once you can do that, it does get a little easier, and you learn the new things, like different things fuel different systems. You know, like your life support, you can't just use carbon anymore. You need whatever, Thamium-9 or whatever it is. And your launcher thrusters use up all the plutonium in one launch. So every time you land, you need to make sure you have extra or you're stranded. So it's really tough, but I've managed to get to a point where I've built a base and I have a decent ship now. So I'm like, okay, I need to put this down and play all these other games I have on my backlog. So I've been playing that. I wanted to beat one of the games in my backlog, so I beat Jazzpunk last night, which is a pretty short game, but I just haven't had a chance to finish it off. You played Jazzpunk?
Hell yeah.
Finally. Yeah, it's so bizarre. It's like this weird little acid trip. It's definitely the most
weird. Okay.
It's like
so good.
It's the most absurd game I've ever played. It's so bizarre. And last night I was
MacGuffin.
Well, it is the most absurd game that you've ever played this week. Next week I am going to take the title over because I've made plans to definitely play genital jousting between now and when we get together next week.
I want to play that so bad.
Oh, man. I thought we had to play that in person.
Well,
no? Okay.
I'm out.
You had your chance at the Festivus.
Yeah, you're right. And so yeah, Jazzpunk beat that, and I was like falling asleep when I was doing it, which made it even more bizarre. Cause I was like, what the fuck did he just say? Like, that made no sense, and like, very crazy game. And Invisible Ink, the makers of Mark of the Ninja and Don't Starve, their latest game, I think it's the latest game, Invisible Ink, is one of the free PlayStation games this month. So I downloaded that and started playing that today, and that's kind of like a, not steampunk, like cyberpunk spies meets XCOM. It's all turn-based and grid-based. Really cool, really interesting, but I've only just started it, so that's what I've been playing.
It was Austin Walker's Game of the Year last year.
It's really fun, and I love the isometric view. I'm a sucker for isometric view games, and it's that. So I don't know what it is about isometric views. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome.
Must have isometric.
Well, speaking of awesome, let's hear from Sean now. What have you been up to?
I've dived into City Skylines. They had a lot of updates as of recently, and that game, when I first purchased it about a year ago, wasn't as good as it is now. They've got weather and everything, so I've just been playing around with that because I used to like the Sim City stuff, but this is much more challenging because you have to really watch everything because the way the mechanics work. If you don't have enough water, you don't have enough power, if you're throwing shit in the river and it's going upstream or however that way works. So there's a lot of
how is it swimming upstream?
Well,
powerful shit,
salmon shit.
You have to watch the currents because if you put the water on the wrong end and it's actually moving up and not down, and you put the water before the sewage treatment plant, then you could have that problem. So
you have to name this episode "Salmon Shit" now. That's
this is the game that
Geographic
that Matt was playing, right? Devious Mr. Matt was talking about recently on a 40cast that he's a civil engineer at work and now he's a civil engineer at home.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I think that's what got me back to go back into playing. It was listening to him when he talked about it. I'm still trying to beat Deus Ex. I refuse to pay for any more of the what the heck are they called? It's the way you upgrade your augmentations, and I can't think of the name of it. But I made some bad choices. I'm trying to play back through it so that I can make the right choices so I can beat this guy that I don't know if I'm at the end of the game or I'm close to the end of the game. I have no idea. So I've been trying to get back into that and playing that. And then, of course, playing some Ark on Cross-Realm Rebellion servers.
Well, let's get back to Deus Ex real quick. You said you refuse to pay. Does this mean real money or does this mean in-game currency?
Oh, no, this is real money. You can pay real money to upgrade yourself if you want. It offers it in the store, and I refuse to do that. I don't pay to win.
Can you do that in-game? Like, is there any way to... Is it like a shortcut, or is it something you literally can't do unless you pay for it?
Well, no, what it does is it gives you extra Praxis kits. There it is. Whew.
Oh, okay.
It gives you, if you spend, I don't know, like it's $10, you get 10 Praxis kits. So it's, it's that kind of deal. And I didn't even know that was an option. I just happened to hit on the store one day because I was just looking to see what it was. And I saw that you could buy all these Praxis kits. So now they've made it so, and that wasn't the way they regular, I don't remember the previous Deus Ex having that. So all of a sudden now they put it in this one. So I don't know if that's just the way games are going nowadays, that you can pay for extra stuff. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I'd rather do it through the game, the right way versus paying to win.
So as Corey was asking, there is definitely no way to buy in game. Sometimes you'll see in games like spend $9.99 or 1,000 of these in-game currency things.
Well, no, if you play when you're playing the game, you can definitely buy the stuff, but there's only a limited supply. It's not like you can go into a vendor and he'll have like 1 or maybe 5, but then you have to have the in-game currency in order to be able to buy it. I'm talking about going out of the game into their store, and you can buy packs of Praxis, kits that'll upgrade you to the nth degree. For real world money.
So normally, if you're not spending real world money, the Praxis kits are just like Nintendo classics. They're just fucking like 1 in each store, and they're gone right away.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Those things are still hard as fuck to find, right?
Yep. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, I was listening to the Future Monkeys. Beardy McWhiskey's been talking about that. He's been trying to get one. I don't know if he got one yet. He was going to stores like every week trying to get one. So
jeez, I'm surprised Los doesn't have one. Every time I see
he does
Instagram,
have one.
What?
He does have one.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Just not Beardy McWhiskey.
I was going to say, every time Los posts on Twitter or on Instagram lately, there's like a new gift being dropped at his house. It's like raining Christmas.
Oh my God,
Florida.
the TV and the Jesus.
Yep.
Sorry, Beardy McWhiskey.
And he got the Apple TV. You got some new socks today, it looked like, and some phone case.
Apple TV to socks. That's quite the jump.
It's every day. It's like 25 days of Christmas at his house. Anything else there, Sean?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Jay, are you with us?
I am.
All right. What have you been playing?
More Warmastered. This is Darksiders, the Warmastered edition, and I did manage to break it twice. I guess there's been some issues of people falling through the ground, and I managed to do that. And then there was also another section where I was in an area, and I was doing the spinning sword thing you do, and my guy just froze. I could turn the camera around, look around everywhere, but I could not move. He just literally froze in action. Both of those are posted on my Xbox feed. If you look, you can see those in my captures. But it wasn't as bad as when I had with Darksiders 2, where it actually prevented me from moving on and playing. I just went back to my last save, and it loaded right up, and I just continued to play and moved on. So I am still thoroughly enjoying the game, even with those 2 bugs that happened. Still one of my favorites. Just love playing it. Looks great and plays well, other than those 2 glitches. And as mentioned in my intro, I have been a gaming grandpa, and been playing my 4-year-old granddaughter, and we've been playing Feeding Frenzy 2, which is a backwards compatible game. Always really enjoyed playing that. You're kind of a fish swimming around underwater, and you start out small, and you can eat the smaller fish, and you have to avoid the larger fish because the larger fish can eat you. So the more fish you eat, after a while you'll grow, so then you can eat the next step up fish, and you keep going, do that, and see how long you do that. She's been absolutely loving it, and I've been enjoying it too. And matter of fact, we've been going in with me, my granddaughter, and my wife, all 3 of us playing. So it's been kind of nice. Playing with the family. And along those lines also, I introduced her to Peggle 2, and she's enjoying that too, even though we did have one night where she got frustrated. But you can play at home, split screen, or you can play together. against each other. You each take turns and try to outscore one another. So we've been playing Peggle 2 in that way and enjoying ourselves. And other than that, it's been extremely busy where it's the holidays and it's winter time. So we've been getting some snow. So that's about all I've been playing.
Gotcha. Well, my list is lengthy, so I'll try to get through this as quick as possible.
Has it got some girth?
Not right now. 9 inches flaccid. Joe, I fired up the Warriors on PS4.
Nice.
Yeah, it didn't really grab me too much.
Oh.
A lot of spray painting. If you're into that game is really up your alley if you really like bombing away. But I played for about an hour or so. It's okay. It doesn't look that great on the PS4. I was expecting it to look a little bit better, but again, it is a PS2 game. That game is still really high in value on eBay. Is it? For the PS2 copy, yeah. It wasn't great, but I mean, I've played worse. It was okay. I might go back. We'll see. I played some, of course, the Battlefield 1 with Devious Mr. Matt. We always do that during the week. Played some Titanfall 2 during the week, the multiplayer. Not very good at it, but man, the guns feel great in that game. So going from, before I played Titanfall 2, I was playing Star Wars Battlefront. And I know they're not similar games, but, just the pew-pew action and then going into Titanfall 2. It's like, this feels good. Nice rumble satisfaction and everything. But Star Wars Battlefront, I played the new Rogue One content. Sort of up in the air about it right now. I need to give it another couple days to play it. Nothing really.
So what is the exact Rogue One content? Is it locations? Is it maps? What is it?
It looked like locations to me, and I only played it one afternoon, and it looked like it was just, because it was new stuff, you couldn't go in and say, I want to pick this particular mode to play the map. It was like some sort of playlist. And the neat thing about it is I think some of the feedback that they heard before is that there was no sort of seamless, all right, I'm in space, and now the next mission takes me to the ground. Before there might be separate missions or there'd be long loading screens. Now they put a cutscene in, and it's a rather quick cutscene. But, you have to, one particular mission, you have to guide this, ship past the Empire. And then once you do that, then you go to like a ground attack. And it's pretty seamless. Like I said, just a quick cutscene. And, but some of those ground attacks, I've never played that stuff before. And it's, it's rather lengthy. You come out of this sort of underground bunker, and you got to go to the dropship to sort of escape. And you're carrying these journals, these logs along the way. And you've got to bring them to the, the escape pod, essentially. And those battles were long. I want to say maybe 15, 20 minutes. But it is sort of rinse repeat, though, because if you don't have a squad mate that you can spawn on, you start all the way back at the bunker. But you can see how much progress, even though it's this, the DICE engine and the same, studio and things like that. Battlefield 1 just looks so much better than Star Wars Battlefront. And I think last year on the Game of the Year show, which we're having next week, by the way, I think we might have given best visuals, or I think it was probably closely mentioned, I think, between that and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it was my vote, I think. It was my vote for best visuals.
And it just doesn't look so hot now when you put it on right after Battlefield 1. But I enjoyed it. I need to play more, though, because I don't really have a good feeling of what the whole DLC offers. I mean, there was a lot of beach scenes. Was there a lot of beach stuff going on well, I guess we haven't seen Rogue One yet, right? So we don't know.
Well, there is, in the trailer, there is some sort of tropical planet where I think they show rebels taking on AT-ATs head on a beach.
Right.
They haven't said what planet it is or anything like that, though, I don't think.
Right. So that's exactly what the missions look like. You're on a beach and you're attacking these AT-ATs. Yep. A lot of that stuff. And it was cool. A lot of people are still playing it. Very easy to get into matches. And again, I guess pat myself on the back. I circumvented buying the Season's Pass by buying the Ultimate Edition that was on sale on Black Friday for $19.99.
Smart man.
Saved myself $30 there.
Yeah, less than half the price.
Yep. One day I had my thinking cap on. Other than that, I played some Division today. Still really enjoying the underground stuff. So it was good to get back into that. I think that's pretty much it. Just a lot of shooters. It's been the theme of my... Oh, and I also jumped into real quick for about the first 45 minutes to an hour of Mafia 3. I'm not sure what I feel about the gameplay yet. It seems a little old. But man, I love the soundtrack. Right off the bat, some great, 70s rock and roll. So I'm enjoying that. I'll definitely go back into it. I mean, it's racist as hell, like we talked about, and bloody as hell too. I mean, you're just in these close quarter, like you're at the bank reserve, and you got to steal some money from there, and the guards come and get you, and they're not very far away from you, and you're just blowing them to bits with the shotguns. Very bloody game.
When you get to that scene where you can just like mow down that whole alt-right, I mean KKK meeting, you have to take that video clip and put it on Twitter. I got to see it.
All right. That is a promise. So that's all I've been playing. We do have a listener question from Devious Mr. Matt of the 40cast. He wants to know, what's the must-play game of 2016? Certainly this can bleed over a little bit to our Game of the Year discussion next week. I think I have a game in mind, and it probably will be different than my Game of the Year, maybe. Still kicking that around. But does anybody else have a game that they've played this year that Matt or any other of our listeners definitely should buy and start playing?
I know exactly which one I would say.
Lay it on me.
Doom, son. That game was fantastic. Anybody our age who played the original Doom, like, they captured the spirit of Doom better than I'd ever even anticipated they could do. I didn't think that was a thing that you could do, is capture the original spirit of Doom, and they did it, and they made it. I don't call many games bitchin', but that game is fucking bitchin'. And the way the music kicks in when you're like in those intense fights is just, it makes you feel badass and rad as hell, like the Doom Marine is supposed to feel. And there's all those homages to the original, so I would definitely say Doom.
Does anybody else agree with Corey that Doom would be the one game that you must play in 2016?
I do. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, me too.
Not me.
Damn. So look at that, Matt. 3 people say you must play Doom. So if you don't buy that fucking game, I don't know what we can do for you. Sean or Joe, anything to add to that besides what Corey mentioned?
Nah.
No, he pretty much summed it up. I mean, for the most part, that's just, you just need to play the game. Matt, you need to play the game.
Right.
I want to hear what Jay's game is.
Yeah, I want to hear. It's gonna be some obscure game that we never heard of.
It better not be the DLC for Witcher. That's all I'm saying.
Matt, finish Witcher.
You motherfucker.
Actually, what I was gonna say?
What?
It would not be in our Game Awards at all. If somebody were going to play a game in 2016, grab Oblivion, put it in your Xbox One. It's backwards compatible now.
Jesus.
Oblivion. Get out of here.
And this segment was sponsored by Aaron Greenberg, Mikey Barra, Phil Spencer, and Major Nelson. For me, I think Matt's already playing it. I really think Battlefield 1 is where it's at for... it's got a great multiplayer that you can play with a lot of friends. Some of these multiplayer games these days limit how many people you can play with. These are big matches, lots of diversity, lots of different things you can do. And I think the little bit that I've played of the campaign, again, I had to eat crow at that, as I didn't think the small stories were working for me. I thought I would rather like a larger story where you could get more attached to the character, but the little I've played has been fantastic, and you do get equally engaged with the characters, even in those short, what would they call those, vignettes or something like that?
Yeah.
So Battlefield 1 for me would be the game that you should be playing this year.
What is the player count on it? Is it 64? Is that the map?
Some of it's 64. I mean, you can play like Team Deathmatch, and it's smaller, but if you're playing the Conquest stuff or Operations, it's 32 versus 32.
And, similar to when we have our Game of the Year stuff, we can generally convince somebody over just by having the discussion, decide, telling why you should play. I'm now have to swap my vote over to what Mike is saying, due to the fact that, who knows how much longer people will be playing it again. So it definitely fits. Play in 2016 because that's when everybody's still playing is right now. And I need to get in and play with you guys because I did buy it on PS4 so I could play with you guys. So
that's true. As far as multiplayer goes, that was the weakest part of Doom. So yeah, if you want to play multiplayer when it's hottest, that's a good point.
Yeah. So that really fits the question there because, that is something that maybe on time, like Star Wars Battlefront, occasionally we can catch some matches, but not a lot of people are still playing it. So, but Battlefield 1 now's the time. So jump in and get there.
And they're not even going to be putting out Battlefield the next iteration next year. They're supporting this for 2 years. The season's pass hasn't come out yet. So still a lot of content to drop.
I think it's smart. All
right. Well, let's get into the notable releases of the week. We already had our guest on, and we were talking a little bit about Super Mario Run. That's coming out on the iOS this Thursday, the 15th, I believe.
I believe so.
Yep. Let's see. For the PS4, we have Stardew Valley. I know a lot of people like to play that. I hear that often mentioned on my Twitter feed. And Jay, you used to play Bridge Constructor on the Xbox, right?
I still do occasionally. I have it on my phone, too.
Yep. And that's coming to the PS4 this week. Yep. And the last one here I'm looking forward to, even though I think some of the delays maybe get people more skeptical, even before than they are now. Space Hulk Deathwing. It's coming out on PC this week. I want to check that bad boy out.
Looks interesting.
Is anybody getting any of these this week besides Super Mario Run? That's a no.
No.
Yes.
No. That would be a negative.
I'm definitely getting Super Mario Run. I would get Stardew Valley because I've only heard great things about it, but it looks like this enormous time sink, and I'm trying to wrap up my shame pile before the end of the year. So I'm like, I can't do it.
All right, well, let's get into the rest of the news here. Some Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered news right off the top. They're coming out with an update that's going to add free maps and modes. So starting on December 13th, which is Tuesday, the remake of the 2007 classic will receive 6 new multiplayer maps and 2 additional game modes free of charge. This will rise the map total to 16. The complimentary update introduces the Block, Countdown, Showdown, Strike, Pipeline, and Wetwork multiplayer maps. It also adds modes such as Gun Game and Hardpoint, which were featured in Black Ops and Black Ops 2. Surprised that it's going to be free, but it did cost you, I think, $80 to buy that version of the game. So,
and they just had it on sale for $52.
I have to play that. I only have the remastered stuff for the Xbox. That will give me a reason to turn on my Xbox One.
Oops.
So if anybody out there has that for the Xbox, let me know. And I think I see our buddy Gamer Goalie playing the campaign.
Wait.
Wow.
Wait, that guy plays video games?
He plays games? I thought he was just playing Skyrim.
Oh, Oblivion. Oblivion.
He was playing, the Oblivion.
He agrees with you. That's the game to play in 2016.
Yeah. See, somebody agreed with me.
Let's see, the game that I've been playing today, The Division, is going to get DirectX 12 support this week. So the update will fix issues tied to the loss of character controls as well as problems with controllers on PC. It also addresses lowered performance impact with high CPU usage. And like I said, it will also get the DirectX 12, which should provide better optimization for higher resolutions. I want to pick this up on PC, and every time I have it in my shopping cart, I'm like, I have so much stuff to play. Am I really going to sink another 100-plus hours into The Division when I could play other games? But I hear it looks so good on PC.
I like Division, too. It was fun to play.
Yeah. What was that, Joe?
I said it did look pretty good on my PC.
Yeah.
And I don't even have a fancy pants, like 1070 or whatever you guys have at this point.
What are you running for a card?
970.
Oh, it's a decent card.
There's no 1070.
70, baby.
Oh.
Let's go over to Battleborn. I think that's going to be in one of our Game of the Year categories that we're going to be rolling out soon, so stay tuned for that. But the Battleborn Winter Update is coming out this week. All 25 core characters will now be unlocked. Story mode will have more guides and tools to lead you through various areas of the game. There'll be 2 new training modes. One's called Incursion Tutorial, which will help you build up your PvP skills. And then the Dojo, which will take each and every Battleborn hero for a test drive. And there's other stuff that's coming along too, like PS4 Pro support and updated in-game economy and a bunch of other stuff like Quest and Draft Mode and stuff like that. So this is a game that I need to get back into because, like an a-hole, I spent $74 on this game, and I have not got my money's worth. And I didn't think it was as bad as people.
$74. Damn, son.
Yeah, got the pass and everything.
Damn, son.
The dad's getting grounded. Guys say, "Oh, this is going to be the game we're going to play now. This is what everybody's going to be doing." And I think MagmaFlow was the only person that stuck with it. I think Jeremy got rid of it and then he reacquired it for very cheap dollars. So those guys are going to have to play with me or else.
There sounds like there's some resentment in your voice. I have a feeling I know what category Battleborn's going to be in.
We'll see. No spoilers, please.
No spoilers.
Next up here, Sea of Solitude is going to be the next EA original title. So they've been doing this EA original series. Might have kicked off with that game that you played, Jay. What was that called? The yarn game, Unraveled.
Oh, yeah, Unraveled, yeah.
And I think the last one they put out was Fe or Fee. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. It's F-E. So this next one is going to be called Sea of Solitude. Just the visuals alone look pretty impressive. I'm not really sure what the game is about.
It's about a Sea of Solitude.
It's about a shitload of solitude.
It looks like this person, I would assume it's a girl. Just from the back, it looks like a girl to me. And she is on some sort of single-engine boat, I guess you could say. And she's traveling along, and there's all sorts of monsters coming up, but I think that's the least of her problems. Maybe she's got some monsters or demons in her head that she's fighting.
Oh, look at you getting all deep and shit.
And they come out in her time of solitude. I'm not sure, but I wanted to mention it because I think the visuals look pretty stunning, especially if you go to, I think it's seaofsolitude.com. There's a lot more images that you could look at, but I know people liked Unraveled. I can't remember if people liked Fae or Fee, but this will be the next one. Something to look forward to, I guess.
That image kind of reminds me of that Flame in the Flood. With it looks like a post-apocalyptic thing with lots of water. That's the gist I'm getting from that.
Well, it's funny that you brought that up, Corey, because Forrest is the one who tweeted congratulations to this development team.
Oh, really?
Forrest is the guy. Would you say the head person that worked on Flame in the Flood of that studio?
Yeah, I mean that whole studio was only like 7 or 8 people. So yeah, he was definitely one of the big players in that studio. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, so that's how I found out about this game, because he was tweeting out and giving them congratulations. Now, Jay, this next item, I think you talked about last week, but actually you're going to talk about it this week. Okay. Uncharted 4's co-op survival mode and new multiplayer DLC is coming out this week. And I think in your stupor last week, you said what?
They'd have like a challenge mode, which meant kind of like a...
Pirates
and it's going to be pirates, too. Yep.
So, yeah, I fired up the Uncharted 4.
Not pirates.
Pirates.
Yes.
Yep. So I fired this up, I think it was a week or so ago, because I thought it was already out, and it's not, but... Yeah, this survival mode is going to be bringing a new cooperative and solo experience, plus new competitive multiplayer content. And I guess this Tuesday the 13th, they're going to be having some live Twitch events. You can see this all in action Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, which is, of course, 2 p.m. in the Eastern time.
Yes.
I think Go ahead.
I was just going to say, did any of you guys ever really get into the multiplayer for Uncharted? I played I think it was the third Uncharted. Yes. They had like a free, it was like apart from the game or something like that. You could play before the game came out or something. I don't remember. But
I've always been impressed with Naughty Dog's multiplayer. I thought The Last of Us multiplayer was pretty decent.
Excellent. I totally agree.
And I thought Uncharted 3's multiplayer was good. I tried to play 4, but just couldn't get a lot of people to always play. I think a couple times me and some of the guys from the 40cast, and I think even Jeremy, played a little bit of it. I really like it, so that's why I was trying to get back into it. I think the maybe just because it's in third person, but remember the Max Payne that Rockstar put out? That had some good multiplayer in it too.
It did. They found a way to incorporate bullet time into a multiplayer game, which was really cool. But I never think of Uncharted as a multiplayer game. But I remember 3 having pretty fun multiplayer. It wasn't excellent, but it was fun. It was fun for a while. And like you said, the Last of Us, that was amazing multiplayer, but like nobody played it, and it died off pretty quickly. They had like really, really cool ideas, but yeah, it was just a game that nobody thought to play multiplayer on The Last of Us because it's all narrative driven.
I know Jay and I played it one time. Remember that, Jay? It's not. All right. Some new PS4 Pro updates. One is already out, and that's for Farming Simulator 17. So, Sean, if you had your PS4 Pro...
Pieces and sticks, throw a cookie in the mix. Every year I need my triple treat fix.
I just pulled up the article and I thought it was from Corey's soundboard. It started singing a fucking Papagino's thing in Santa Claus voice. I thought it was like, what the hell is that, Corey? Anyway, Jesus Christ. I'm going to leave that in there because that's.
I was going to say, please keep that in there.
So,
totally
Sean,
not me, I swear.
What I was trying to say, Sean, is Farming Simulator 17, easy for me to say, now has 3 modes. It has Ultra HD, which runs at 4K resolution with an unconfirmed frame rate. It has Quad HD display, which will be at 1440p and 60 frames per second, or just HD mode, which is the lowest resolution mode at 1080p, but it does come with a 60 frames per second 60 frames per second and an improved draw distance, which is so important to Jay. Jay loves to talk about draw distance. Right, Jay?
Yeah, do you use a pencil or?
No, moving on. Another title that I really like from Housemarque is Resogun, and that is going to be getting a PS4 Pro update any day, but no exact date has been given yet. And lastly, we're going to give some Xbox news for Jay here.
Thank you.
He's been dozing off. Shadowrun is now backwards compatible, as well as a pair of Xbox Live arcade games, Space Ark and Shortest Shogi, which I've never heard of. Never heard of. How did both of those get picked in like some of these other popular ones?
I don't know. They do say they go by the list that they have on the site where people vote. But it also, that's the first thing they take into account, and then the next thing they do is the ones that they can get in are working. And some of these ones, like I believe Space Ark and Show Test Shogi, were probably took a couple hours to get them transferred over and get them working and permissions. So
I think they have a dot board. Is what I mean.
Board.
That's the way I think they do it.
But Shadowrun was pretty cool. And that was actually one of the first games to be not multi-console, but multi-platform. You could play with PC players on the 360. So
I know people on Twitter are still talking about Shadowrun. They were talking about it, of course, this week because of backwards compatibility. So there is still a core audience for that one.
And it was a good game. It was a lot of fun to play. It's interesting. It's kind of, you got different, you got healers and tanks and whatnot you play with and whatnot. So it's interesting. My son, Jamie, he used to play the hell out of it. So.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. A couple plugs first. Next week will be the Game of the Year show. We are going to be doing a listener survey. So like last year, we will be discussing the categories, and we will try to get a general consensus to agree what would be our game of the year or best sounding game, best looking game, etc. And, of course, when we're done with that, we will read what the listeners voted for their choices. So make sure to look for that survey. That will be out on Twitter this week. And as a little incentive, if you fill out the survey, you will be entered to win a $25 gift card somewhere. So be looking for that. Hopefully you will participate.
They will now.
They will now.
Bam!
Bribe them. Was it this week? I think I texted you, Jay, or maybe all of you about the Xbox 360 batteries that I was looking for, like first-party ones, because mine were all dead, and my son has been playing. And you said, "Well, you use rechargeable." So I went to Amazon and picked up like the Energizer rechargeable thing. It was like $850. Comes with 4 batteries in the charging thing. Yep. How come rechargeable batteries aren't charged already?
They weren't.
They weren't charged. No.
Some aren't. Some are. But it doesn't take long. It only takes a couple hours.
It only takes 4 to
them.
6 hours.
Yeah.
On
that one, yeah.
They're still sitting there red.
Yeah, I had an Energizer one that I picked up and did. But I love it. I picked them up, and, I get the ones that'll charge 4 batteries at a time. You only have 2 in a controller, so I charge, I have 2 in the charger, got 2 in the controller, and then I just keep swapping them in and out. So, of course, with my controllers, I have, I think I have 30 batteries here, so...
You don't even have 30 hands. Who the hell's playing?
Of course he has 30 batteries. Have you seen how many controllers this guy has?
How many breaks? He blames it on the cats when he's really playing, Darksiders, and he falls to the ground and smashes it. Oh, the cat must have broke my controller.
No, I haven't broken one in a while. It's been actually, I think it was last Christmas, wasn't it?
Bar humbug.
Last one was Far Cry.
Other than that, the only other plug is go listen to the newest episode of the 40cast that dropped this week. Lots of laughs, and maybe at Matt's expense, too. So go out and download and listen to that. Who would like to go next? Jay, I see you have a plug in here.
Yes, I was listening to Tap the Craft, with Loose Screw on Twitter, who is Denny, who does the Tap the Craft podcast. At Tap the Craft on Twitter. This is plugs, so here it goes. And I was listening to that today, and it was nice to hear they've given Mike some homework to do. So I can't wait till he listens to that and finds out what he's got for homework, because I'm not going to tell him.
We talk about beers on the 40cast this week. It's a very funny segment, so tied the two of those together.
Yeah.
So, Denny, you have to listen to the 40cast and see if you agree with me or not.
And actually, that's where they want you to put your answer once you get your homework done.
All right. Anything else, Jay?
Just rechargeable batteries. I use what the heck are they called? The Panasonic, the rechargeable batteries that I use, and I like those. So I picked up a kit. So I've been using those and enjoying those ones. So
that works. Panasonic.
Yeah, and shout out to, once again, as usual, to all our listeners. Thank you very much. Appreciate you listening. All the other podcasts that listen and plug us on there, so it is greatly appreciated. And to Santa for bringing the gifts for my granddaughter, because I don't have to buy them. Oh, wait, shit. Never mind.
We'll bring that up next week with Santa. You can sit in his lap.
Yeah.
All right, Corey, you're laughing. Go ahead.
I don't have a ton to plug this time. If you haven't listened to it already, I recommend going and listening to our previous episode. That live taping of the beta test came out really well, despite us all being kind of drunk and us just using a phone to record. But it came out surprisingly well because of the Red Roof Inn. They were nice enough to host us, and Juggler of Geese was. I don't know. He was nice enough to let us sneak into his room to record something. So, yeah, listen to that. And I'm excited for the sketch that we have. We've recorded a 3rd sketch, and it's on its way. You'll hear it very soon. I think it came out really, really well. So I'm looking forward to you guys hearing that. So just stay tuned here. You can follow me on... Someone just fall over?
My cat just came up and headbutted me.
Well deserved.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
You can follow me on Twitter at Catwood, and follow Big O Games on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also, we're doing giveaways now, like once a week, like every Friday or so. We do like a giveaway over the weekend, and there's lots of ways to enter. I recommend entering right now. I'm not actually, when this podcast goes up, it'll be too late. But you should enter next time. So keep an eye out next Friday on our Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. That's about it for me. And review us on iTunes, please. 5 stars.
All right, Joe, how about yourself?
Shout out to Jay's cat for headbutting him.
Yeah, what's up now, Anya?
Mike knows who it is.
Shout out to my friend Tyler for letting me let me do my first tattoo on him. Did a sweet vulture.
How'd that go?
It went very well. I was very happy with the results. Obviously, you know, there's a couple things that I could have did a little bit better, but hey, it's my first tattoo on another person, so I think it turned out better than some other people may do.
Now, did you do the whole tattoo, or did anybody come in and help a little?
Oh, I did it all myself. Ryan wasn't even paying attention the whole time I was doing it. He was playing this pinball game on his iPad.
I had an experience one time. The original guitar player for the Dropkicks, his wife was learning to tattoo. Mm-hmm. So I knew her, and I was like, sure, you know, you can go ahead and tattoo. And her boss, you know, guy didn't have a personality at all. But, man, that fucker could tattoo like nobody's goddamn business. And he watched her like a hawk. And he jumped in a bunch and fixed a bunch of stuff. And it's one of my better-looking tattoos.
Nice.
Those lines are in there, trust me. That fucker shit is black.
I think what I did turned out really well. There was only one spot where my line didn't end up super straight on the vulture's beak, so I had to kind of double up and give it a little bit of a thicker line for the beak, but that way it would look completely consistent, but it doesn't look bad. And then, I just finished painting up my flash sheet that I'm going to be working off of for the first month or so. So I got to start getting people to come in.
So did your buddy give you a tip at all, and like don't smoke in bed, or give you any lunch or anything, or what?
I was driving him, and we didn't really want to. Well, we needed to stop and get gas and everything, and we didn't stop by the bank. So he's like, yeah. Which is fine. I didn't really expect him to give me anything.
I was gonna say, would you frame the first money that you made, or would you just fucking spend it?
Whatever I get, I think I'm supposed to put towards, you know, equipment. So,
gotcha. Well, anything else?
Oh no, that's it.
All right, Sean, you still with us, brother?
I am. I was just making sure all my podcasts are downloading because I got to hear the 40 cast. So I just saw that pop up in my list. So I wanted to make sure it was in for the morning.
Yeah, I just want to sleep on that one.
No, I want to give a lot of I want to give the shout outs to my Drivecast podcast that I post on Twitter once a week of all the podcasts that you should be listening to anyway. And for keeping me entertained on my 10-hour commute on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It definitely does help. And I would like to shout out the gaming group that I'm a part of, which is the Cross Realm Rebellion. You can find them at the crossrealmrebellion.com if you look it up. And you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Well, thanks, guys, for being part of episode 181. Again, be on the lookout for the survey that's going to drop tomorrow, Monday the 12th. You got 7 days to fill it out, or 6 days. And then we'll get your listener feedback on the Game of the Year show, which is, again, next week on 182. So, Jay, do us the honors.
Until next time, same beta channel, and the listeners will be making some decisions, and so will we on the next podcast. See ya! Woo-hoo!
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't plug that. Yeah, that's right. Rated Arc. I forgot about that. I was just on there last night too.
Nice.
Oh, God.